From a 500-1 long shot to a 1-0 series lead in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Vegas Golden Knights beat the Washington Capitals 6-4 in game numero uno. Hello, I'm Brian Salm with your Golden Edge recap, Stanley Cup Playoff Edition. Hey, the scene inside T-Mobile Arena was electric as Michael Buffer, the Golden Voice, kicked off Game 1 Vegas style. And the Golden Knights respond by scoring the first goal of the Cup Finals. Colin Miller with a laser one-timer, 7:15 into the game, his third of the playoffs. From there, the Capitals charge right back. 2 straight goals, taking a 2-1 lead until Big Willie style. William Karlsson ties it at 2, gathering a rebound off the glass. Wild Bill's 7th of the playoffs. In total, 4 goals heading into the first intermission. During intermission, the crowd inside T-Mobile was treated to Miss Gladys Knight, singing a wonderful rendition of God Bless America. Then to thank the solstice, the crowd promptly sang her happy birthday, as this Memorial Day was her born day. Back to the action though. The two teams exchanged goals in the second period. Then in the third, the Capitals retake the lead 4-3, and the Golden Knights respond just like they have all season long. Ryan Reeves scores in his second straight game, tying it at 4, and Tomas Nosek gets the go-ahead goal and an empty netter to boot for the 6-4 dub. So for more on Game 1, let's head to T-Mobile Arena with columnist Ed Graney and sports reporter Adam Hill, who have more. Guys.
Hey everyone, it's Ed Graney and Adam Hill from the Review Journal here at Golden Edge and ReviewJournal.com. Adam, well, listen, it's a best-of-7 Stanley Cup final. History arrived at T-Mobile Arena tonight. The series started between the Golden Knights and the Washington Capitals. I think both coaches afterwards said this was not their best. Neither team played well. But in that sense, if you're the Golden Knights, you just want to be on the winning side. They were 6-4 the final. Vegas beats the Capitals. Your quick view of what happened here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest storyline, first and foremost, is the Stanley Cup is here in Vegas. It's the final. It's what everybody wanted to see. The atmosphere is great. The gameplay maybe not so great. It wasn't the best played game on either side, as you mentioned. But, you know, we have a series. Vegas takes the opener. That's the bottom line. I mean, Washington, if you talk to them, and I did after the game, to a man, said, we didn't play well, and we were right in the game. We had a chance to win. Bottom line is, it's a long series, but it's not that long of a series. It's 7 games, and home teams that win Game 1 at home in the Stanley Cup are 48-8 in the series. So history is on the side of the Golden Knights after taking Game 1.
Yeah, that's a huge number. I didn't realize that. It's funny about sports, and Marc-Andre Fleury, the goalie for the Knights, talked about this afterwards. I think coming in, everyone said this could be a series of games of 1-0, 2-1, 2-1. Braden Holtby had 2 back-to-back shutouts against Tampa Bay. You saw Game 7. We know Fleury was playing at a Conn Smythe level, and here we go in Game 1. Neither really played well. They both admitted they were both really not shaky, but they just weren't crisp. They weren't as efficient as they've been. So I guess you really can't predict anything in these games. You got to go game to game, and how it plays out, it's going to be.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot about the Golden Knights that Fleury has carried them to this point. He has been the star. He saved them in a couple games they maybe shouldn't have won. He bailed them out. Tonight wasn't his sharpest. He let, as we said, 4 goals in, including one that he kicked in his own net. We haven't seen that from him, but they found a way to win. And so I think that's what the Golden Knights take away from this. Hey, while the Capitals say we didn't play well and we were right in it, the Golden Knights say we didn't play well and we won and we're up 1-0, and that's a huge way to start the series.
Absolutely. Tomorrow they'll both look at tape. They'll both clean things up. I think we're going to get a better game here Wednesday night. We don't know who's going to win, but I think both will be crisper. They'll both feel that they can take it to another level. Washington coach Barry Trotz said that afterwards. I know we have another level. I'm sure Gerard Gallant thinks the same thing. Wednesday, let me ask you this, because a lot of people think, again, if Washington can get that steal and take home ice, is this more of a must-win for Vegas or Washington, or is there such a thing that early in the series?
Well, I think it's a huge game. I think it's the pivotal spot. What Washington want to do coming in is split on the road. That's your goal when you're the road team, so they still have a chance to do that. Vegas, if they go up 2-0, it's a huge game for them, and if they don't win it, all of a sudden you lose home ice advantage and you lose some of that confidence maybe that you had. So I think it's a massive game for both. I think it's more of a must-win for Washington. You don't want to go down 2-0. But I think one other thing to watch for, the Capitals talked a lot about the ice. Now, I think you can you can say it's an excuse. You lose a game. You don't want to talk about the ice. But all of them, to a man, were talking about how tough it was, how choppy it was. And they said Vegas is used to it. They said Vegas is out there. They know how to simplify their game. They know how to deal with the ice conditions. Washington was a little frustrated with it. So I think it'll be huge to monitor what Washington does to adjust. They said they have to simplify the game. Barry Trotz said it. A bunch of the players said the same thing. I think it's a big factor, especially because they're thinking about it so much. So
it's in their head.
Whether it's a real thing or not, like, they're thinking about it, they're talking about it. So that's something to certainly monitor going forward.
Well, I tell you what, you and I have been in most home games all year. I didn't see them come out and fix the ice as much as I saw them tonight. There's no question whether it's the heat, whatever it is, there were issues with the ice. But I also heard a couple Washington Capitals, and you were in their room, say, you know what, it's the same for both teams. Yeah. So if it gets in your head and you start making excuses, you don't want that. What did you think of the pregame ceremonies? Like we said, the Stanley Cup Final, amazingly, is here in Vegas. Vegas does things big, and they do it with that pregame ceremony. There are a lot of celebrities in the stands tonight. How do you think the pregame ceremonies go, and how do you think Vegas responded to having this historic moment? There were thousands of people, again, outside, thousands of people across Southern Nevada at these watch parties. How do you think Vegas did?
I think Vegas does Vegas, and Vegas is always going to be great. You mentioned there's a lot of celebrities. One of them, Floyd Mayweather Jr., got a big boo. So that was, I think, interesting to see in the arena.
Not a shock.
Not that shocking, but he was there. He was there watching the game and checking it out. He wasn't in Houston as I kind of expected. He'd go to the Warriors game. But, yeah, I thought it was a fun night.
Live from T-Mobile Arena. It is in the books, historic in terms of the first Stanley Cup Final game here in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. Final score, Golden Knights 6, Washington 4. The Knights lead this best-of-7, 1-0. Let's say it, they are 3 wins away from hoisting the Stanley Cup. If it's anything like this tonight, though, I think it's going to be a long series. This thing is going to really, it could go 6 or 7 if it plays out like this tonight. I think it's going to be an exciting series either way. For Adam Hill, Ed Graney, back to you guys at ReviewJournal.com and at the Golden Edge.
All right, fellas, thank you very much. Now, the Golden Knights improved to a ridiculous 13-3 in the 2018 playoffs and a 1-0 series lead. Game 2 Wednesday night, of course, over at T-Mobile Arena. So, for Ed and Adam inside of T-Mobile Arena, I'm Brian Salmon with your Golden Edge recap, Stanley Cup Playoff Edition. We'll see you next time.